Students who succeed tend to be, first of all, students who keep up really well with the material, students who come in familiar with terminology because they've looked it over before class, and students who recognize that they need to go beyond just memorizing terminology to really understanding the material and working with it at a more conceptual level.
They attend class, they use a planner, they have a place to study, and it's not their bed. Beds are for sleeping.
I think that they take the time to build a relationship. It's about relationship building, not only a relationship with me as a professor, but a relationship with the graduate students, the teaching assistants, who themselves are not so far removed from undergraduate courses themselves. It's then building relationships with their peers so that they're then talking about the things that we talk about in psychology. If you're at St. Louis University or any university or college that you've been at, you pretty much show that you can do the work, that you have the knowledge or the abilities to do the work, that there's a certain level of intelligence that you have. The question becomes, though, do you oftentimes have the skills? And the skills are such things as time management, organizing your time.
In my class is what I find out, the people who don't typically do well are those who don't show up, those who don't take notes, and most of all those who don't read.
And some of it's disorganization, not keeping track of what's due when, so that's an issue.
Students, one of the major obstacles is that they're not prepared for the amount of time that they need to put in outside of class. Class time is much shorter than it is in high school as far as contact hours go, and so for students to succeed, they really need to spend some time studying outside of class.
All the skills you want, you still have to have the right attitude.
People overestimate their abilities. There's probably about 1 or 2, maybe 3% of the population that could wait to the last minute and then produce an excellent paper, or do exceptionally well on an exam.
It's really developing a group of people around you who care enough about you that they're going to push you along with pushing themselves to be the best.
Study during the day between classes. It's the #1 easiest way to gain some time.
The research shows the closer you sit up front in class, the better your grades tend to be, and that you're just going to do better if you sit closer in class. You're going to be more engaged, instructor. And I say that what you want to do is that you want to create that engagement, and so that you're really focusing on the instructor and what you're hearing, what you're seeing through the PowerPoints, all that.
Learn to discipline yourself to listen for a solid hour.
What I usually recommend for students is that they look over material before class, at a bare minimum, skim the chapter so that they're familiar with the key terminology and the key concepts of the chapter. That allows them to participate a little bit more in lecture and to focus their attention on the concepts rather than trying to write down definitions.
Get together and see if you have a hole in your note, it may not be the same hole your friend has. And that really helps, because then you right away after class look over those notes and see where your problems are and try to, within a day, get them filled in.
The best way to prepare for an examination in my class is to actually take the concept and explain it to somebody who's never had psychology. If they actually understand the concept, you understand it well enough.
I used to read my notes probably 9 or 10 times for sure, and then I would look to the book to find the specifics where I was able to get the broad story from my notes. I would look to the books to get the specifics about everything.
In biology, for example, a typical exam will have about 7 chapters of material on it, and there's simply no way that someone can learn 7 chapters of biology the day before the test. It's really important to keep up, learn as you go, so that when it comes time to study for the test, it's really review time. It's not a time to be looking over the material for the first time.
When they see you during office hours trying to improve your note-taking, trying to understand these concepts and that sort of thing, they're going to want to see you succeed.
They know the best way to study for their exams. They also can help you understand material. I have seen teachers practically stand on their heads to try to help somebody really understand their material.
Particularly in large classes, it's difficult for the professor to get to know students individually, and I always enjoy it when students do come into my office hours and visit with me. I get to know them a little bit more, and then when those students come to me a year or two later needing a recommendation letter, I really have something to say about them that's personal, that reflects more than just their grade in the class.